going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I want to make another video about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and provide feedback for possibly the next game, the sequel to the game that sold so many copies, could be a lot better. Now, I want to hear from you guys as well, so just like my last Xenoverse 2 feedback videos, feel free to drop your own thoughts on the comment section below around multiplayer. Today's topic is going to be all about multiplayer. And the way I decided to do it this time is, instead of focusing on one thing, I have a list of top 5 things that we need in multiplayer to make the game so much more fun next time. So without further ado, let's get into this list. Oh wait, actually before I start, I want to toss out a quick disclaimer. As of right now, today, February 10th, 2016, of me recording this, there is no word on when Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 will be released. There's no plans or windows yet or anything. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying. Now, as soon as I find out when Xenoverse 2 is happening or any news around it, I will let you guys know, so make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll keep you guys up to date with information as I get it. But as of right now, there is no release date or no plans to release it this year or anything. As soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. I can't stress that enough. I don't want you guys to think just because I'm making this video, this game is coming out like next week or something. It takes time for development. Now, my best bet is anything, if anything, we might hear at E3, or even better scenario, we might hear about it at Jump Festa in December. But again, that's still a long ways away. So for right now, just enjoy the games that we have. And the second we find out anything about Xenoverse 2, I will let you guys know. But without further ado, let's get into this list. Now the first one, and by the way, this is no order, but this first one is probably one of the most important one. We need options/rules. Now, when I say options and rules, what I mean by that is, when you create a lobby, you can choose for things like for example, in Storm 4, you have the ability to do random rules or stuff like elemental damage, things like that. Well, in Xenoverse 2, we definitely need an ability to edit our own rules that, number one, allow us to choose between custom created characters or CAC'S or original characters or stuff like increasing the time, specific items allowed, not allowed, things like that. Something that allows the player who creates a library to have their own rules that they can control. That way it doesn't get annoying. Because there's nothing that was more annoying than Xenoverse fights where basically you're fighting someone and they end up popping an item last second to win the fight. Or when you're trying to just do original character fights and yet people keep, playing as custom created characters. Like, I want to be able to control my stuff in the match, and I feel like if we all get that ability, the game will be ultimately a lot more fun when it comes down to it. So I definitely would want to add the options and rules ability in the multiplayer lobby. Actually, I want to hear from you guys because I know this is a big problem. It has always been a big problem in Xenoverse. To those who have dealt with this following scenario, if this is you, comment below. How many of you guys have dealt with a Xenoverse match where you play with somebody and the last second they use an item causing you to lose and they get full health? If that has happened to you, comment below. And I want everybody to pay attention to the comments in this video. They're going to explode because I guarantee you every single person watching this video has run into that situation. Now, if you're on the other hand, if you use items yourself and you've dealt on the opposite end, then feel free to comment as well. But this is mostly a question to those who have dealt with players who basically use an item last second to heal and end up winning the match. If that's happened to you, comment below. Now, number 2 on my list is not necessary to really add to this list, but because of how Storm 4 handled it, I want to kind of toss it out there just in case, Banan Namco and Dims decide to do the same thing with Xenoverse 2. Do not take away spectator mode. In case you guys haven't noticed, to those who haven't played Storm 4, there is no spectator mode anymore, and essentially if you do lobbies with your friends, you can't watch your friends play, which is kind of a weird thing to take away. Now, for some reason, Dims decided, you know what, maybe people don't really like this. Do not take that away. Watching your friends fight in the lobby of multiple people is a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable, and it makes it more fun to play the game altogether. So do not take that away. Now again, this is not very likely a thing that they will take away, but I kind of want to toss out there just in case somebody at Dims is thinking, you know what, maybe we should take this away. Don't do that. Make sure you leave spectator mode for the love of God in Xenoverse 2. Do not take it away. And to those listening, in case you happen to work in CC2, which I don't think a CC2 employee watches my video, bring that back in Storm 4 because I know a lot of people in the Naruto Storm community are kind of upset that they can't watch their friends fight. And it's a big portion to being interactive when you play the game. So bring that back. Add that into Storm 4. But again, Dims, in case Dims happens to be watching this video, do not take it away from Xenoverse 2. Number 3 on my list is a tournament mode. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rhymestyle, they already had that in the last game. Why are you adding this to this list? Well, I'm not talking about that tournament mode. I'm talking about a different one. One that's more what we got in previous games. As far as that tournament mode that we got in Xenoverse 1, the only suggestion I have for that is for the love of God, please promote it better. To those who don't know, the tournament has come back several times, and I bet you a lot of people don't even know that just because they don't do anything to really promote it. Pretty much, you have to log into Xenoverse, run past the tournament area, and you'll see it's happening to know what was happening. I mean, like I said, the first time they did it, they promoted it, but I feel like it just didn't work that well at all. It was too ambitious, and because of that, they just kind of left it alone, and then kind of softly promoted it for the rest of the time it happening since the game came out. Now, again, when Xenoverse 2 comes out, if you do more these limited tournaments where you can actually fight people across the world, just promote it better. Have a Dokkan Battle style banner. To those who don't play Dokkan Battle, prior to the tournament happening every couple weeks, there's a banner, there's news, you know it's happening. And with Xenoverse 2, when they bring back these, monthly tournaments or whatever the time is for the tournament to take place, they need to just have like a big banner out or something to let us know that's happening. That way we can prepare and be ready for it to go down when it happens. But as far as my tournament mode, I just want the old stuff to come back. Like what we had in previous games like Budokai 3, Tenkaichi, pretty much any Dragon Ball Z game except for Infinite World, which I believe they took it out in that game. Just give us an option in multiplayer mode where we have like, endless player match, rank match, tournament mode, where it allows us to either add random people or our friends, and then, it automatically adds a bracket. We fight each other, we watch each other. It'll just be a little fun thing to do. I would do it all the time, especially with you guys. It'd be so much fun to have Rhymestyle tournaments or whatever, or just even you guys host your own tournaments, invite me, whatever. It'll be so much fun to have an actual tournament between smaller groups of people, as opposed to the giant one that takes place every couple of weeks or months that they've been doing in Xenoverse 1. I just want the old stuff to come back, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will agree that tournament mode, an actual tournament mode that we control, will be a lot of fun in the game, so that's definitely on my list. Now for number 4 on my list, I actually borrowed this idea from Call of Duty, but I would love to see other game modes. Now when I say other game modes, I'm not talking about how Call of Duty had kill confirm, team deathmatch, and deathmatch, the basic stuff. I'm talking about the different stuff like gun game or one to chamber, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a different way to play Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I feel like the Dim City could get really creative when it comes down to figure out what other ways players could play where it's actually enjoyable. Now I actually came out a couple ideas I want to toss out there to see your thoughts, and the first one is the move randomizer. And the way this mode would work is you select your custom created character, you and your opponent, and instead of playing with the moveset that you chose, it's always randomized. I feel like it'd be so fun and exciting trying to figure out what you're going to get next, how you're going to play when you have certain moves that you're not used to using, and just all sorts of shenanigans could happen at that point. And I feel like that mode would be so much freaking fun to play with, but I would love to hear from you guys. So what do you guys think about the move randomizer mode? Comment below. Another one I was thinking of, and this is kind of borrowing the idea from One in the Chamber in Call of Duty, is sudden death, where instead of starting a match with full health, both you and your opponent, whether you use custom created characters or whatever, have no health. You start literally with one piece of energy, and it's kind of like whoever gets the next hit and wins. Again, these extra modes like this don't really add too much to the game, but at the same time, when you get burned out playing the standard typical fighting game, jumping into these other modes could just be a lot of fun. Imagine again, you and your friends get into a lobby and having no health. Literally, one hit wins, and that's it. I think it's just gonna be fun. I mean, I don't know. I want you guys to get creative as well, actually. So if you have any ideas for random game modes that could be fun, that are very different from a typical fighting game, comment them below. The last game mode that I want to suggest is actually a horde mode, and I would love to hop in a room with like a friend or 2 or 3 and just take on an infinite amount of monsters or enemies or whatever. Imagine this, you taking on an infinite amount of coolers on planet New Namek, or fighting a bunch of Cell Juniors or a bunch of Cybermen, or even a bunch of Frieza soldiers who get stronger and stronger and stronger over time. It would just be fun to see how long you can last, and again, there's nothing that's not fun about horde mode. I mean, yes, horde mode gets overplayed over time, but again, it's an extra mode. It's not supposed to be like the main primary part of the game. It's just supposed to be something else that we can play while we're playing the game, and then getting burned out doing the other parts. Like, it's just extra stuff that could be enjoyable, and I would love to see a horde mode come out in Xenoverse 2. So I would love to hear from you guys. So again, if there's any other game modes that you think would be fun that are different from just your typical fighting game, comment it below. Again, this is not to replace the standard fighting mode of Xenoverse. It's just extra stuff on top of the fighting mode. So again, stuff like horde mode, randomizer, sudden death, whatever, on top of the fighting mode, the endless lobbies, player matches, rank matches that we get with this typical game. So any ideas you have, feel free to comment them below. And finally, number 5 on my list, and I'm sure everybody's going to agree with me on this one as well. For the love of God, number 1, please let me find my custom created character, and 2, let me play as all the characters I made without having to freaking log out. There was nothing more annoying and time consuming than, switching characters that you create on your profile. I mean, you have to like back out, wait for a game to load, get to the main menu, go back in, wait for the load. It was a big pain. And actually it got to the point where a lot of times I just played with the character that I chose just because I didn't want to go through a hassle of logging in and out, because it just takes so freaking long. So for the love of God and Xenoverse 2, please let us access all our custom created characters from one screen, from one profile, without having to log in and out. It will make our lives so much easier, Bandai and Dims. Please do that. So that's my top 5 list of things that I would love to see in a Xenoverse sequel and Xenoverse 2. Actually, I just thought of another idea, and this isn't really 6. This counts as part of number 4, what I said with more game modes. But this should also add as a custom created character randomizer on the character select screen, which picks a random time patroller made across the world. You know, one of the cool features that I loved about Xenoverse 1 was when you play in player requests and a random time patrol shows up, you have to fight. I would love to see the same thing, but just on the character select screen, where it picks a random character made by someone across the world, and you get to play as them. I think it's a cool little fun way to add to the roster, just another extra thing that's not really that drastic, but just kind of like a fun thing that could be added. I think they could do that, and that'd be kind of fun as well. But ultimately, I said my top 5 things, so what do you guys think about my idea? feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section below. So we'd love to hear from you guys as well. So if you have any ideas of things that could be fun in Xenoverse 2, feel free to drop your ideas in the comment section below. And don't add stuff like make hit detection better. That's kind of a no-brainer. I'm talking about random stuff like tournament mode or randomizer or options, rules, spectator mode, stuff like that. If you have any ideas to add on to the game, feel free to drop those thoughts in the comment section below. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you leave a like rating below. And any other questions, comments, feedback, drop me a comment. And other than that, as always, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Rhymestyle, and I will see all you awesome super sandwiches in the comment section below. Peace.